I'm just here to talk a little bit about the assignment for Skills Blog 3. So, looking at the Northouse survey that we completed, my scores were very similar for all three of the categories. Administrative, I scored high in 23, interpersonal also high at 22, and then conceptual high at 21. So, while mine were very similar, they were clear cut as far as administrative than interpersonal and conceptual. Based on the readings that we have done in our textbook, Gore, Murray, and Langan, I feel that this is pretty accurately describes the management or leadership style that I feel that I would have. Being very administrative yet interpersonal at the same time. I find joy in completing tasks and having a to-do list and going down that list, as well as doing that with the involvement of fellow staff members. The different ways that our textbook represented this for me was in talking about how when you're dealing with a difficulty in a unit that you plan, you organize, you find the staff that's needed to take care of your issue as well as coordinating this happening. Very interesting that this comes up today coming off a shift where we were very, very tight for most of the day. Doctors wanting to bring patients in, we really didn't have the room, but we don't have the ability to say no. So working to find the staff for a night shift, working to find the staff to be able to accommodate the needs we know we're going to have tomorrow. So this took a very coordinated effort between us as the staff nurses to deal with what we had right now, as well as coordinating with our charge nurses, our staff, as well as staff that was at home looking forward to tomorrow to make these things happen. So planning ahead was huge for us and allowing us to organize a plan on how to deal with this and coordinating the efforts together really to make sure that we have everything that we need. So those are things I find fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the problem solving and figuring out how to make it work even in a difficult situation. So I feel like we had a good representation of this in my unit today, and it really helped to make a smooth shift for us as well as for the transition into nights as well as tomorrow. So I enjoy it, and I think that this leadership skills questionnaire really reflected that I enjoy that interpersonal working together to figure out a solution in a more administrative way to make the best for all worlds. So the article that I pulled up was by Mueller, and it discussed how in an interpersonal organizational workforce, we need to have similar communication, similar ethics, similar professional behaviors. If all of the groups, the doctors, the physicians, the CNAs, your secretaries, every member of your staff has these similar values, that you work a little bit more cohesively together. It allows you to be more professional, more caring, more competent, more effective communication between all parties involved, and really bringing the best care that we can to our patients and their families. These allow for experience and increased responsibility to allow for more effective care of our patients. It allows us to work together a little bit more, allows us to do less duplication of the work. So if we're all on the same page, we all have the same goals and the same values, we can cluster care together, we can do things together. And I think a way we're seeing this now is with rounding. Some units even have a rounding nurse. I know that we personally do not, but I know that when the doctor goes in my patient's room, because of our low nurse-patient ratios in labor and delivery, I'm able to go in there with them. I'm able to actually hear exactly what the doctor says to the patient, what the patient says to the doctor, those conversations that take place. And I really feel like it helps lead to better care for both the patients and understanding of what's going on by having everyone on the same page in the same room talking about the situation at that time. So I really have seen this some in my own workforce by creating less work for everyone and having everybody on the same page by having those communicating interdisciplinary teams. It really makes the patients the center of our care and allows for their involvement, which is huge. And these are ideas that Mueller brought up as well, that by having them, they feel important, they feel empowered, they're a part of their care, and they really understand more what's going on, and they're able to feel more confident in us as staff members for their care. So in dealing with different departmental issues that come up as a leader, I would need to work not only with my unit itself, I actually work in labor and delivery, so we work under the Women's Services Department. So that consists of labor and delivery, special care nursery, as well as postpartum care. These units work very cohesively together. So, in working in my home unit of labor and delivery, working together in our unit requires working with those others as well. So, working within the Women's Services Department, we operate pretty independently from the rest of the hospital because of our more specialized care. Most staff members do not have the credentials to come over and help us, which is difficult at times. We would love their help, and they're so generous to come over and help us any way they can. But in our workforce, it really just works with us working together, working with our day shift supervisors, working with the management that we do have in place, working with our unit director. She's absolutely wonderful and really goes above and beyond to work with human resources and those higher management needs that we have in order to accomplish our goals. So, really importantly in our unit together, but then that director position really works with other units within the hospital to help us be as successful as possible. So just depending on the level of management within my organization would depend on how extensively I would work with those higher levels of management. Um, so in my personal opinion, as far as vertical versus horizontal management, I feel that vertical is more effective, especially in my care environment that I'm in now. Horizontal is not as seen because we are a larger organization. There are multiple hospitals, multiple systems, multiple specialty units, and we really kind of work cohesively together, like I mentioned before. And the horizontal structure really helps us. So we have our staff nurses, we have supervisors, we have managers and directors, all within our own unit before reporting to the bigger management. We do have clinical administrators that are around during the day that help us out as staff nurses, and are our direct resources if we need needs met beyond our personal unit. So those are wonderful and very helpful to us. But I feel this is representative of a more a more vertical structure. And I think that is most beneficial for our work environment because of the large capacity of care that we provide to so very many patients. As far as particular models go, one that I appreciated very much, I apologize, was the integrated healthcare system. I felt like this one brought up by Gora and Murray and Langan was very representative of what I see in my own healthcare environment. On page 137, they talk about organizing the structure and the care in order to help reduce healthcare costs, ensuring patient satisfaction. And these are things that we're working towards in my environment at Wake Med, and I feel that this is where a lot of things are going, especially with the national healthcare plans that they're working towards, the Affordable Care Acts, in helping to meet the needs of so very many patients. So having these goals in mind as an interdisciplinary team to have everyone on the same page will really benefit for patients and their families. I did want to mention the model of care that I looked at was our model at Wake Med. Our mission and vision statement, we use a pyramid structure, and we function in the bottom level of that, where we have actually had classes that talk about communication and respect and different characteristics within those in order to build on those small frameworks in order to help us achieve our organization, mission, values, and visions. And ultimately, the pyramid at the very top is, of course, our patients and our families. And this is a model of care that we have all come to know very well and work towards, of course, making sure that patient and family is at the center of our care, and we're absolutely giving them the best that we can by just being there and being present. And by working together with these different models, we are able to really put these goals that we have as an organization into play. And I really feel that this is representative of our care and this care that we strive to give our patients. Alright guys, just wanted to make sure I got it all. Looks like we've covered everything. I hope each of you are doing well and class is going well for you. I look forward to working with you for the rest of the semester, and I hope this has provided a little bit of insight into the leadership that we all strive to have on our units and how we can work to be better leaders and better managers within our own units and our plans for the future. Thanks guys, y'all have a great evening.